My name is Brendan McGrew, and this is Bourbon Blues Cheesesteak Eggrolls. We have our cheesesteak meat. You could use steakums. It's just a chopped sirloin. We have some American cheese, some Montreal steak seasoning, and a little bit of salt. We're gonna start with an onion. We're gonna take it, we're gonna cut the edges off, discard, and while we're holding the knife, just go right through. We'll save half for another recipe. An onion is many layers. We're just gonna peel back that top one. We'll get our fingers in there, get that one, peel that off. We're gonna go that way, and then just right down in half, split it, keep them together, turn it, and now we're gonna do what's called a julienne cut. And just go all the way down through the onion. You always wanna keep your fingers back from it. We're just using them to kind of hold support. The knife should be nice and sharp. And once we get about 3/4 of the way through, drag the blade just to separate it, and then we're rolling the onion. And we keep going all the way down to that last bit. Never be scared to do that one extra cut. Onion's done, we got our meat, we got our cheese. We're going to our pan. We're gonna add a little bit of oil just so things don't stick. Oh, you can see it's smoking. We're gonna get a nice sizzle out of this. So we're taking our onions. Whew. And give them a stir. We got a great smell. Give it just that little swirl. And just keep shaking it. That way they're not sitting and sticking, but rather jumping them, almost like we're sauteing them in a pot. So now that we have a nice little brown color, the reason we want that brown color is that's actually caramelized sugars from the onion. Add that. It's okay that there's a little juice in there because we're not adding that. We're gonna do the meat. Scooped in, this is about 3 pounds right here. So we have that going. We're gonna give it a nice stir. And now that we got the meat nice incorporated, you can hear those sizzles start to stop. Now that we're at that point, we're gonna add our Montreal steak seasoning. It's gonna just add to it. And because we're adding Montreal steak seasoning, which has a fair amount of salt in it, we wanna add a little less salt than we normally would. Just add a nice little pinch for seasoning. And then we're gonna let that cook. Give it a stir every so often. We're gonna turn the flame down from the high that it's on to a medium. And just kind of set it and forget it for about 5 minutes. So it's been about 5 minutes. We got our meat nice and cooked all the way through. We can't see any red, but there's a lot of liquid in the pan. And we don't wanna eat that liquid. Give it a nice stir in the pot. Make sure that we're getting everything off those edges. And then we're just gonna put it through a strainer. Turn the flame off, let this sit here, and just give it that little dump. Now the reason that we're doing this is we want to drain the liquid because we're going to add cheese to it for our liquid. Let that drain, give it a nice stir in there. Just wanted to get that extra off. Going back in the pot, make sure that's all good. We're going to make sure this is nice and even throughout, and we're gonna do a layer of American cheese. Just your regular white American cheese here. We wanna make sure we get it as even as possible and as close to the edges. We're gonna do about 1 pound of cheese, and this will make more than enough for your whole family. And now we're just gonna let that cheese melt for a second. Let that sit, and then we're just gonna give it that stir. It looks like it's gonna clump up, it'll even back out, and just keep stirring. Gentle stirs all around. So the cheese is nice and melted throughout. So we had our cheesesteak mix in the pan. We let this cool for 30 minutes, and we just did a nice little scoop. This is a measured 3-ounce scoop of that mix so that we can get ready to roll it. We have egg roll skins from Chinatown. Hen special. And now that we have them out, the nice thing is egg roll skins are pretty much flour and pressed water. So we have them set there. We're gonna take 1 egg and do a nice little crack and then split it. So we have the yolk there. We're gonna mix the egg and then brush the edges so that things stick. First we gotta break the yolk. So now that we have that, we just need that little bit on the brush, and we're gonna take it and brush the edges. It's all right if a little bit gets on the table the way that did there. And what we're doing is only these top 2 edges, because we're gonna take it and roll it up. So that's what's gonna stick and seal and really hold it together. And you don't need a lot, just enough for a covering. If for some reason you don't have eggs at home, you could also do it with just a little bit of water to pinch and seal. So now we're gonna take the meat and we wanna put it in the back center. So that's it on there. If we're doing a cross section there, that would be the center. We're gonna go about an inch back. I'm gonna take that meat, place it right there. And what we want to do is get the meat to about the size that we're going to do it with. So we're just going to take that circle that we had, break it down into more of a roll type shape. Now the rolling everybody thinks is really hard, and it's not. Just take the corner, pull it over, and then just back a little bit and even it out so it's fully covered. Then we're going to go a fold, fold, and then press. And then keep going. And since that egg wash we put on there is nice and sticky, just do it nice and slow, and then you can check. And there you go. You have it. It's all sealed. No openings. Like I say, just so it doesn't stick, we'll just pop in that cornstarch for a minute. We have that sitting there. And we're going to do it again. Right over. Kind of press it, seal it. We want to press out any air that's there. And then we're folding the corner, folding the corner, press down, press those edges, and then roll it. And we're good. Into the cornstarch, just to let it sit for a moment. We're gonna put them in a deep fryer for about 4 minutes at 350 degrees. So over to the fryer. So right now we have our rolled cheesesteak rolls. We got our fryer here, our oil's hot at 350 degrees. Now we're just gonna take them and gently place them in the basket. Same thing for this one, they'll drop and roll. Now you wanna make sure you're doing that over a trash can. And now they're going down in the deep fryer. So we got the egg rolls here. They've been in the fryer for about 5 minutes. You're gonna give them a nice little pull up, make sure they're golden brown. Now we wanna drain the oil, give it that little tap, and we're taking them out. You can see right where we sealed them, they got that nice little bubble. None of the cheese is out, golden brown. And slice it on a bias at that angle, go right down through. Set them up there. So our cheesesteak egg rolls are now ready for the pass. There they go.